Hey, True Believers, England teen here. So I'm watching the Snyder Cut, and I figure, okay, after each segment, I'll step in, I'll say something about what I think about the movie and everything. Okay, so immediately, I got to tell you, it's better than the theatrical. That's not a high bar. I don't think you're singing a lot of praise by saying it is. It's much better than the theatrical cut that we got. That being said, I'm actually not someone who hates the theatrical cut. I just watched it like everybody else, and I saw that it could have been so much better, especially with what we were hearing that this movie was going to be about. And apparently, that's what we're getting here. It is interesting when we're watching it to see what was left out. Obviously, anything with the Superman baby mouth is Joss Whedon, so that wasn't left out. It didn't start off with, what's the S stand for or anything like that with Superman looking off into the distance and everything. I'm very happy to also say that the Batman bit where he's catching the thief on the rooftop, that's not in there. That was just so they could get to the understanding that the mother boxes are the MacGuffin of the movie. What is in there, and I don't want to spoil this because this is day one, what is in there is actually improvement. There is, and I could see why this movie needs to be 4 hours long, because we are 40 minutes in. I think it says 40, yeah, 37:07 to get to part two. Part one ends at the Themyscira scene where Steppenwolf comes down and takes the mother box from the Amazons. And if you know, in the theatrical cut, that was like 5 or 10 minutes in. So there's a lot of story here. Some things are shifted around, but there's a lot more story to flesh out the characters. And that in itself is the biggest improvement, because we actually get time to know people before things happen. So we actually care a little bit more. Something I thought was really strange, I didn't think this would be something, but it is I feel Superman's loss. In this first 40 minutes, they actually managed to create an emotion that makes you feel for Superman's loss. His return was inevitable. So what's the movie going to do about it? How is it going to manipulate us into caring about the fact that he's dead? And it manages to. And that's with not so much material about Superman so far. So I've got to say, at the very least, it does work on that level. I'm still not a fan of them killing off Superman and Batman v Superman, because, you know, we're cheated out of so much just for having it happen so soon. But it is what it is, and what we've got here, it's a fun movie. The scene with Aquaman and Bruce Wayne was a little bit different. We don't get the line, "So you talk to fish." We don't get that going on in there, but we do get some of the same dialogue. The silly jokes there's still humor in there, but it's not silly, obvious jokes that we got with the what I guess now we can call the Whedon cut, or the theatrical version. It's still blue. I wish they would. Zack Snyder, it's okay to have color in your film. That's a Zack Snyder thing. All of his movies are blue. No, that's not all of them. 300 was brown. It's like he pulls down a screen in front of the camera to film through. It's a blue filter or it's a brown filter. It's okay to have color. That's all I'm saying, right? You know that. Overall, though, I've been entertained by it. I'm enjoying it. This is far superior than the theatrical cut. Hitting part two. Hopefully the quality keeps up. I'm going to be stopping in between each chapter to give a little my thought on the previous chapter. So back to the movie. So part two is the sequence basically where everybody's coming together. We have it ends with the big battle, but this time instead of Steppenwolf, it's versus Darkseid. I don't know how I feel about this, because it seems like Darkseid was taken down to quickly. Take the Sauron thing in Lord of the Rings. Even though they triumphed, you still got the idea that Sauron was a powerful sumbitch. Unfortunately, that's not here. So I don't know how I felt about that. They needed something to show Darkseid, you know, how powerful, how scary he can be before they took him out. And I understood that was where they were going. So that's what they were leading to, but it just it didn't do for me what the first part did. The other parts were okay. We got to meet Cyborg's dad a little bit more, and we see what they're doing in Star Labs a little bit more. I like that bit. It was just that one scene that bothered me. And that was just, it's a nit to pick, but I think it's a pretty big nit that we needed to see a more ominous and more powerful dark side. Good to see Hercules. I'm not Hercules, but Zeus, and good to see Ares and Moshe. I was hoping to get a little bit more of the Green Lantern. But basically what you saw in the theatrical cuts, what you see here, we do get to see a little bit more of Aquaman in that one scene where the water's coming over, but he takes off his shirt and he disappears in the waves. We get to see Vulko. I appreciated seeing some new stuff, even though it's telling the same story. There was a line that was directly in the theatrical cut. I paid millions of dollars for this security. And Diane says, yeah, and it shows. It took me almost a minute to get past it. That line is still in the movie. So yeah, there are some things that were left in. It's still good. It's still an interesting story. The characters are still getting fleshed out. You get a little bit more of when they fire the arrow into the Temple of the Amazons, and you get a little bit more of the backstory. Diana goes into a cave after she goes to the temple and finds the arrow, lights it on fire to take a walk out. So there is more to this. There's a lot more of the movie, and still good. It's just, I wish we just saw Darkseid just plowing over people before he was taken out. All right. But that's, like I said, that's just a little nit to pick, and it hasn't really affected my opinion on the Snyder Cut. It's still good. Not just better, but good so far. Holy crap, Mera and Aquaman in this. So yeah, I'm on part 4 right now. They're beginning where Commissioner Gordon meets him up on the top of the GCPD building, and it ends with, oh, that's your signal. Okay. Flash doesn't change much, by the way. If you thought a whole bunch of that silliness that he throws in there is Whedon stuff, no. There's a lot of his goofiness that's still in the movie. This chapter should have been called Flash and Cyborg. You get so much more of them, and that, I really think that helps. Not only that, but you're getting a lot of Steppenwolf's motivation as well. You see why he's got people in the subway, or yeah, the subway that they need to, the Justice League comes to rescue. You see what he's doing. He's communicating with Desaad. Both of them look awesome. Steppenwolf is leaps and bounds better. Desaad looks pretty cool as well. But just gets so much more story and so much more motivation on these characters. I gotta say, I've said it before so far, this is so much better just because of that. When you get the story behind what the action, you care about the action more, Warner Brothers. Stop freaking around with the people who are trying to make these movies good. I now want to see the director's cut of Suicide Squad before you gave it to a freaking video company to edit. That's what this has me thinking. I want to see the director's cuts of all these films. Seriously. Once again, this tells the story. You see it in the preview where he meets up with Iris. And that's the Flash bit. He's still not all there. You see the part where he goes to meet his father, but the part where he's drawing the pencil markings on the guy's face, that's gone. So that was a Whedon thing. And you see the fight with Aquaman and Mera and Steppenwolf in Atlantis trying to get the mother box again. They try to make this a rated R movie. You have Cyborg actually saying F the world, and you see Steppenwolf cut people in half, and you get the CG blood and all that kind of stuff. But at one point in time, I don't want to spoil it. Let's just say that Mera seriously shows off she's got some power here. I don't want to tell you how, because I don't want to spoil too much of this, rather than just say what's in it, what's not in it. But just in case, for those of you who don't get it, or when you watch that fight, watch what Mira's doing. She is seriously powerful. We're talking some serious water bending here. That should give you a little bit of a clue as to what I'm talking about if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's just exciting as hell. I'm loving this. The bird is loving this, guys. listen to the bird. The bird is what? Not really, but you should listen to the bird. Okay, so finished part 5, and wow, big reveal in part 5, man, to do with a character from Batman versus Superman. I'm pretty sure at some point in time, someone's going to spoil this long before you get to this video. But yeah, so this had the battle. This had them saving people, you know, in the subway, and the water comes rushing and that whole bit. And it's done so much better, by the way. Once again, Steppenwolf looks 10 times better. Everything makes sense now. It just does. The action is still the same, but there's some changes that absolutely make the battle better. Like Batman calls the Nightcrawler not because he's getting his ass kicked, but because he kicks the ass of a few parademons, not easily. But then he gets onto the platform, sees Steppenwolf, and realizes, okay, that he needs the Nightcrawler, so he calls for it. So Batman doesn't feel like a punk. He doesn't feel useless. That was one of the complaints with the Justice League theatrical releases, that Batman felt useless in it. And he's not in this one. Also, a lot of the humor that in the meeting that was there, added obviously by Joss Whedon, is not now. You could say that's a bad thing, I guess, but it's more serious. And once again, Batman doesn't come off like a doofus, which was one of the complaints about the theatrical cut. They do come up with the idea to revive Superman, but it's explained better, and it's explained through the Mother Box and the history that we've been shown of the Mother Box. So it seems more natural for them to reach that conclusion. And it's, once again, it's just so much better. The point for Lois and the meeting between Lois and Superman's mom, Martha, is actually laid out as well. There, once it's just these few scenes that they add here and there that you realize, okay, yeah, you know, that's why they're doing that. Therefore, this makes this scene better. And it just seems like it's so obvious. Why did they cut this stuff out? At certain points, though, there's just little scenes like the change in Batman was made for the worse. And you got to wonder, did Warner Brothers really want to tank this movie? Was that their end goal? Because you didn't have to change it. It was fine. No reshoots needed. It was there. Use that material. And instead, wow, they made this fight worse when they didn't have to. I don't get that. You know, it just doesn't compute. It makes me wonder, did Warner Brothers really want to tank this series on purpose? Anyway, chapter 5, I'm loving this movie, by the way. This is a good movie. This isn't just a step up. Like earlier I said, not a high bar to be better than the theatrical version. And I can enjoy the theatrical version, even though I know of all of its flaws. But this is a legitimately good movie. This makes me want to see what Snyder had in store for the DCU. So I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, back to the movie. So, okay, part 5. This is the part basically where they bring Superman back together. We see the fight that's on the Superman statue and everything. So there's a lot more to it, but that's the main scene, the getting Superman back. There's a lot added to this. I cannot understate how much the little changes make a big difference. I'm taking a break between each chapter, and I looked on Twitter, and Joss Whedon is trending because of how bad of a job he did. Most of what people are getting mad at is the way they cut out Ray Fisher. They cut out Cyborg's story. It's really good. There is a lot of Cyborg story. He is a main character of this movie, and he just got wiped out. Now, can't 100% blame Joss Whedon. Now, I know there's stuff going on, but they get letters on high. We want this out. We want that out. We want that out. It could have been Joss Whedon. I'm just saying it also could have been the notes from the the movie company. Warner Brothers does not miss an opportunity to put their freaking foot in their mouths many times. I've been projectionist. I've talked to them. I've seen Show West and all sorts of stuff. And Warner Brothers is really good about fucking up. If you ever look at their whiteboard list of actors, at one point they wanted to make Jack Black Green Lantern. Okay, Bill Murray is Batman. Think about that for a second. And that isn't like back in the day when Batman 66 was a thing. Here, of course, we have the fight between Superman and Batman. We get a couple of extra scenes involving Flash and Aquaman, proving that they're not punks. They actually show up. The taking of the mother box from them by Steppenwolf wasn't so much of a yoinks kind of thing like it was in the theatrical cut, where they're like, all right, we just got punked by Super. Oh, there goes the mother box. Oh, what do we do now? You know, you actually see them try and stop Steppenwolf. So there's more to that. That you got a lot to the beginning. You get a vision from Cyborg about what might happen if they revive Superman. And wow. Okay, so I'm not going to spoil stuff for you. I'm just going to say this was really cool, man. So yeah, holy crap, guys. This is night and day. I get it. We're watching a 4-hour movie. It's taking me all day because I'm taking breaks in between chapters to do this, get water and all sorts of stuff. But I've got to tell you, this will not be the first time I see this movie or last time I see this movie. You could actually split. I guess there's 7 because they've got an epilogue. I just watched it right through because no way I was turning it off. That in battle, by the way, once again, everybody was made a little bit less in the Warner Brothers Whedon cut, the theatrical cut. Batman kicked all sorts of ass in this one. You got the feeling like he was just, I don't know, he was kind of useless in the theatrical cut. This one, he kicked ass. Now, granted, he disappears for a little bit while Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and eventually Superman fight Steppenwolf. But then he comes back with a great shot. Not kidding. But holy Toledo, it is so freaking good. This last battle was amazing. The drama was increased. Flash had more to do. Cyborg had more to do. It was, you got the feeling of, okay, yeah, like in the theatrical cut, you got a feeling like, well, all they needed to do was get Superman. It was like they were useless and now Superman's here. No, you got a feeling that all of them were needed. Although Superman does come, no, I'm not going to spoil anything. Wonder Woman does something that made me go, oh, shoot. And you could understand why Darkseid's going to make an appearance. I just want to see part 2. You could make it a 4-hour freaking movie. I don't care. If it's like this, do it like this. So long as we get enough characterization, enough time to spend with everybody so we care about what's going on. That last battle scene, excuse me, that really just blew my mind. It really was. I loved it. I loved this film. So the epilogue comes up, and it kind of Lord of the Rings the endings. It really does go to each character and give them kind of set up for the next movies that are supposed to be out. And it's sad because we know Warner Brothers has been canceling everything, and maybe they'll restart now that not only did this movie come out, but people seem excited about this film. I've been following it on Twitter when I turn off to do these bits, and people are excited about this. People want to see what's next. That endings was really good, especially the final one where you see what happens after Darkseid has come along, and it seems like Superman has changed allegiance. Now, we did see that in Batman v Superman, where Superman lands and he does something to Batman. So we actually get a long segment with that, but they're setting up everything. They set up the Injustice Gang, same as the end of the theatrical cut. They set up the Flash movie. They set up the Cyborg movie. They set up the solo Batman movie. They set up Justice League 2 and 3, it looks like. So let's bring it. Just freaking bring it. This is the best movie of the DCEU. I know, unfortunately, because of the Justice League, Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad, this doesn't hold the same weight as saying it's the best movie of the MCU. This is the best movie of the MCU. Let's put that out there. I don't know. Maybe I would have to watch it next to Endgame or Winter Soldier, which are two of my favorites. Either way, I was so freaking impressed with the differences. I am so glad. I'm okay with a 4-hour superhero movie. Make it good. I'm good, man. I'm good to go. This was awesome, and I'm very happy I saw it. Oh, my goodness gracious. Fun times, kids. Fun times. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Have you seen it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe. Ring the notification bell if you haven't done it already. If you don't mind helping out the channel, go to Ko-Fi. Links in the description below. Drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on. Helps keep making movies for you. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.